guys, so I'm back with a new video and let's talk about separation. So I'm really excited to talk to you about this movie. One, because I was lucky enough to watch it before it actually comes out. So I'm really stoked about that. But also this was on my radar for like unknown movies, and not that I was expecting a lot, but I was intrigued. This movie has a few well-known actors. It is directed by a fairly known director, and yeah, overall this is in like a middle range type of movie, a horror movie. It's not like an indie, but it's not a blockbuster either. It's like right in the middle. So I was intrigued. This could go either way, and let's see where it lands. So I'm gonna try and be like really vague here, and this will be a non-spoiler review because I always do non-spoiler reviews, but especially this one, basically no one has seen it yet, so I want to give you like a fair review that doesn't include any spoilers. And as usual, I'm gonna try and keep it as vague as possible so you will be surprised. So yeah, if you don't know what separation is, so in the most vague way that I can tell you, this is about a girl, a little girl that starts seeing monsters after something horrific happens in her life. That's not the summary that you'll find online. It depends on the website. Some websites tell you a lot, others like Letterboxd has a pretty good one that tells you a little bit more than what I'm telling you, but I think this is the best way to go into the movie. So as I said, this stars some pretty big names. Some of them are Brian Cox, who I didn't know by name, but after looking him up, I definitely watched some of his stuff. It also stars Rupert Friend and the two main actresses, the reasons why I wanted to watch the movie, Madeleine Brewer, that you might know from *Handmaid's Tale* and recently in a horror movie, Kim, and Violet McGraw, who is on The Haunting of Hill House, as well as Doctor Sleep, two of my favorite series slash movie. So yeah, some pretty big names, so I was excited about that. Post that, let's get into my thoughts. I have a lot of things, so prepare yourselves. So this one has a lot of potential. I would say it sits right where I told you it was in terms of indie or blockbuster. It's neither one of those, and in terms of how good or bad it is, I think it is right in the middle. It's a little similar to one of the movies that I recently reviewed, The Banishing, mostly because this movie Separation, like one of the first scenes is like really similar to one of the scenes in The Banishing. Both movies deal with like ghosts, supernatural stuff like that, so there's similarities between the two. But what I think this one does better than The Banishing is that you can feel the heart in the project, as well as the characters. The characters in this one are so much better, like the acting is so much better, but the character development is like on point. I really enjoyed the characters in this movie. Like everyone is so rude and so harsh to this main guy, the one played by Rupert Friend, which is the father of the little girl. Like everyone is so hard on him, so you instantly feel bad for him and feel sorry and connect to him, as well as all the other characters. You feel some type of way towards all the characters, and all of these in the first like 30 minutes, so that's great. I loved that they establish the characters pretty well right in the beginning. And in the little press kit that they sent me, I was reading it, and they said that Rupert Friend was, if not the first, like one of the first ones to be cast in the movie, and he worked with the director and the producers and yeah, all of those people. He worked on developing the character, and that is definitely visible when you watch the movie. Like, you really see that there's heart and thought put into the character, and I love that. Like, the characters were definitely my favorite thing about this movie. And yeah, so Jeff, the father, is like a really really unlikable character, and on the other hand there's the mother that I just thought she was awful. So that's what I said, like, you have strong feelings towards everyone, and I like that. I really didn't like the mother, but I think that's what you were supposed to feel. But yeah, the movie also has a pretty good message. There was also something that was in the press kit. They wanted to make a story about divorce and how divorce affects kids and their life. And yeah, I really like that. You could feel that. However, the story does end up being predictable, and the ending isn't great. Like, I wasn't a big fan of the ending. I think it was a bit too cheesy. Besides being predictable, it was a bit too cheesy, and I felt like there was a filler things in there, like stuff that you didn't need to. If you end up watching the movie, I guess you'll understand, like, right in the end there's a montage of scenes, and I feel like that wasn't necessary. And the movie doesn't really need it, like, the time. By the point you get to the end, an hour and a half has passed, so you didn't need that filler. So yeah, I think they could have cut that part, but I guess it was to make you, like, feel more emotional. Something else that I really enjoyed were the monsters. Like, the monsters were pretty creepy and original in a way. You can't really make it as original. I think most of, like, monsters have been done, but as far as monsters go, they were pretty good. I really liked it, and they were creepy without being, like, horrific or being cliche. So the monsters weren't cliche in my opinion, so I really liked that. The movie also has, like, a pretty shocking death scene right in the beginning, so yeah, be on the lookout for that. I was shocked, even though I sort of expected it. Some other not so great things are the CGI. This movie leans a bit too much into the fantasy, and those fantasy scenes have a lot of CGI, and the CGI isn't the best. Like, they also use a fair amount of practical effects, and I thought those were great, but the CGI, not my favorite. As far as sound goes, it's interesting because I had an issue with the sound being too low. I had my headphones in, and I had my volume up all the way. So I tried to watch the movie without headphones, and I couldn't. The sound was too low, I couldn't hear a thing. So I had to put my headphones in, and I had the volume up all the way. So yeah, there's a bit of an issue with sound, like mainly the dialogue, because all the other sounds were fine. Like, I really enjoyed the crack noises and all of those little noises that the movie has. It's visible that they're working with a good sound mixer, which is the same sound mixer from Insidious, so it's a good one. So I don't know what happened there. I don't know if it was my screener wasn't the best. if it was my computer, I don't know, but the dialogue was really low and I had some issues like with hearing, mainly when I didn't have my headphones in. The cinematography was also pretty nice. The director is the director from The Boy, as well as the upcoming Orphan prequel, so I liked The Boy. Not the second one so much, but I did like the first one. So the cinematography here is fairly good, and I like that this barely has any jump scares, and I'm always a fan of that. It has like two, I would say, and for a movie that it's about the supernatural, that's a good thing. And the director said he didn't want to make like a really heavy or depressing movie, so I think he succeeded. It was a bit predictable, yes, but I think it's still an enjoyable movie. And if you're a fan of supernatural, ghosts, haunted houses, all those types of horror movies, I highly recommend it to you. It's not really my thing, but I still had a good time watching the movie. So yeah, if you're into that subgenre, I would say go for it. Post that, let's get into my scores. Overall, I give the movie a 3 out of 5. It's a bit better than average. I think I don't give it a higher score because it's pretty predictable, and although I really enjoyed the story and the characters and everything like in general is good, the story could have been a little bit better, so yeah. Cinematography, I also give it a 3 out of 5. It's fine, the CGI isn't the best, and that's why I don't give it a higher score. And originality, I give it a 2.5 out of 5. It's like in the middle because I think the subject is a little bit original, but in the end the story ends up being predictable. So yeah guys, these are my thoughts on Separation. The movie comes out on April 30 in theaters, so if you can, I would recommend it. Mainly if, as I said, you are a supernatural horror fan. I think it's an enjoyable one. I really enjoyed the characters. The acting is pretty good. You have some pretty good actors. And yeah, I hope you liked this review. If you end up watching the movie, let me know in the comments what you thought. And if by the time you watch this, you already did, also let me know what you thought of the movie. And yeah, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not subscribed yet, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!